G'day Gooners and welcome back to the post-match pod. Obviously, the result on the day wasn't a good one. It was 1-1 away at the Brentford Community Stadium. But I do have a massive smile on my face, and the reason being is because Cal is back. It's been a while. It's been almost a month of me
Yeah,
struggling to edit videos and edit clips and do all the things that I probably don't give Cal nearly enough credit for doing. But he's back. The main man is back. Cal, how was your holiday, and are you pleased to be back?
I'm so happy to be back. I would have loved for us to get the win, obviously. That would have been even better higher, but yeah, not the best result. But being back on the podcast is great. Being able to watch the games when you're not just super tired after traveling as well. But yeah, the trip was really good. I went to Japan, was in Hong Kong for a night, and then a few days in China as well. Definitely class. I want to give a shout out to Tomiyasu, of course. Don't really Japanese player, but yeah, it was a good trip. Did get sick though, and yeah, the times over there for the Arsenal games, some were better, like around 10, 11 o'clock, but then some were really rough at like 3 a.m. And honestly, I've slept through a few times and tried to VPNs, trying to get on Stan Sport. Like it was a mess, but we got it done in the end. Watched all the games, but yeah, disappointing to come back to this game today. I got off the flight this morning at it was about 9:30 a.m. and obviously the game in where we are in Sydney, or you're in Melbourne, same time, but was at 7 a.m. So the game had already finished once I landed. So as soon as I landed, do not disturb, muted all notifications to Stan Sport, Instagram, all that stuff. Went straight onto the game and was trying to watch it on and off, getting off the plane. You know what it's like getting off the plane, going through customs and all that stuff. So the first half was a bit of a blur to me, jet lagged as well. But yeah, the second half I did end up watching, but yeah, a really disappointing result, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it really was, and apologies for George in the past who said that you were in Thailand. I actually I thought you were in Thailand, but no, you're in Japan and Hong Kong. So apologies for that. I need to pay more attention clearly. But yeah, no, in terms of the result, it was poor, and I actually thought honestly on the day Brentford were the much better team.
Yeah,
Um, they started better. Their intensity was good. They were pressing us high and winning the ball high. We couldn't find solutions. It's really the classic trope when it comes to this Arsenal side under Arteta that central access is something that we are just struggling at all over, all around the board, I guess. And I think this was a game where I really looked at Marino and Havertz and thought, oh, this is a game for them,
mm,
to find different solutions. If we can't play through a press, can we actually play over a press? Can we cause situations from long balls? And those are the two players that you need most in that, I guess, game state. And obviously, we got the news yesterday, so day before kickoff, that Havertz was going to be injured. And a few days prior to that, we found out Marino is most likely out for the season. So, um, yeah, I wasn't particularly confident. Obviously, Brentford are a really, really good side. I've been sort of following their progress quite closely. I've got Igor Thiago on my fantasy team, and he is seeming to score almost every single week. So
yeah,
they're picking up some really good results. I think Man City are the only team in the top six who have gone to Brentford and beaten them at their home ground. So yeah, not an easy game, but those injuries and the Saliba illness also
yeah,
going into the game didn't really give me that much confidence, to be honest. I'm still going into every game with a lot of optimism, just because
of course, yeah,
we've come this far, man, and obviously we're now 4 points clear. But at the time of the game, we were 6 points clear, or 3 points clear, because Man City had already played and won. But you know, it's frustrating. It really is frustrating. It's an ongoing theme. If it's happening once, you can sort of excuse it and think, okay, Arteta will probably find a solution to it. But to me, to have players as good as Martin Odegaard and G'Day Eze, and for them to look very average almost on a consistent basis, that tells me it probably isn't the level of footballer you've got, but it actually is the way that you are trying to ask them to play.
yeah, for sure. I don't think Eze or Odegaard particularly played well. I think Odegaard, when he came on for the first 15, looked really bright and looked positive. But then that was probably our best spell of the game. And that's when the goal came, obviously. We'll get onto that in a sec. But Eze in that first half, obviously I didn't get to watch it too much, but it's happened a few times. It's becoming a bit of a thing that Eze isn't really the consistent player. We know that he's a moments player. We've said that before a lot of times, confidence player as well. But I don't know if he's been a good signing, to be honest. I think that's something we can talk about. Like, do you think Eze has been a good signing up to this point? Out of 10, what do you think?
Yes,
it's kind of on and off, isn't it?
I think his hat-trick against Spurs will forever have him in
Yeah,
folklore, in Arsenal folklore. So for me, he has been a good signing, and he's also produced quite a lot of moments. To think that he
yeah,
hasn't actually had that many minutes, but he's got the assist for Martinelli against Man City in the last minute. He's got an assist for Martinelli against Bayern Munich to make it 3-1. He scored the hat-trick against Spurs. He got the goal against Crystal Palace to win the game. So
yeah,
he has produced moments of magic without actually playing that many minutes. What I think with Eze is that to me, I knew last season and at the beginning of this season that when Odegaard was playing in that role, to me, it was never Odegaard that was the issue. Obviously, there are some performances where you look at Odegaard and you think, okay, even the technical side of the game where you'd expect him to have high levels, he wasn't producing. But to me, it is the way that he is being asked to play that is the problem in that number 10 or right number 8 position. And we are terrible at giving those types of players the ball in areas where they can really cause damage. And like the players that we are getting in those areas are like Yuri and Timber, who's getting in the right half space a lot, and a
yeah,
Calafiori when he's playing, or a Hincapié when he's playing, or a Declan Rice when he's playing slightly higher. And they're not the type of players that you need in those spaces if you're going to cause the same amount of damage. If you compare us to Man City, who we're directly in competition with, to a Phil Foden, a Bernardo Silva, a Ryan Cherki. They're just not the same type of player.
yeah.
Whereas Odegaard and Eze are more similar to that type of player, but we never get them the ball in those areas. So we can't expect the result to be any different if we don't get those players in those areas to cause like trouble, you know. So it's almost insanity. Like insanity is like, I guess by definition, is when you make the same mistake often and you expect different result. Like we're making the same mistake almost every single game, and now we're sat here thinking, well, why are we not getting the desired outcome? Well, it's because we're making the same mistake every single game, but we're not doing anything to change it. So it's super frustrating when it comes to Eze. Like there was a time where Eze had to sit out the block to receive the ball, and he sort of turned, waited for any movement from Gyökeres, which didn't come, sort of gave Timber the ball, and Keane Lewis Potter was up his arse, and he didn't manage to dribble past him. Well, yeah, obviously, because dribbling is not Timber's
Yeah.
game, where it is Eze's game. So if Eze was to receive the ball in that area, you'd probably get a better outcome. So to me, it's not necessarily the players; it's the way that they are being played, and it's very, very frustrating. What do you think about the whole Eze situation?
Look, I completely agree with you. I don't think Eze and Odegaard have probably been up to the standards that we've been expecting them to be this season. I know Odegaard's had a lot of injury issues, and it's a new team for Eze. I guess you can give him a bit of time. Like I always look at Calafiori last season compared to this season, completely different players, right? So the thing that I think is underrated in this whole situation is the Havertz. I feel like we finally found a solution to that problem. Havertz playing in the 10, also kind of playing as a second striker with Gyökeres was that solution. I really liked it when we obviously I was like half asleep watching those games, but Havertz always stood out to me in those positions because it felt fresh, didn't it? Like obviously when Odegaard's on the right hand side, you know what he's going to do. He's going to play that ball to Saka, play that ball to Timber, and it kind of gets a little bit dry at some points. But when Havertz is there, it's a new solution. So it does really, really suck that Havertz has gotten injured again. I don't know what is going on with him. I don't know if he was even fully fit in the first place. Did we overplay him? I don't know, but it's all just a bit of a mess at the moment in that number 10/8 position. I think that's another problem as well. What is that position? Is it a 10? Is it an 8? It's kind of right side dominant. It's just so confusing to me, to be honest, man. I think that's where the problems stem. It's just not a clear outline what that position actually is and what Arteta wants from that position as well.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And like it within the context of the game itself. Like I actually don't think any of our players started particularly well. Like it wasn't just Eze who didn't start well. Like even uh, I think after 20 minutes, David Raya sort of catches the ball and then rolls the ball out to Declan Rice, thinking we're going to get them on the counter attack. And there were two Brentford players right there. The ball got stolen off him, and that created
Yeah,
Brentford's first chance on goal for Igor Thiago. And to be fair, Raya did make a good
great
recovery
save.
save.
Yeah,
But the point is, like, no one seemed switched on. Like the weight of pass was poor. Like Gabriel in the first 5 minutes tries to pass the ball back to David Raya, kicks the ball out straight for a
yeah,
corner. Like we just weren't on it today, and it's so frustrating. Every time I feel like we're talking about when Man City do something, either they drop points and they give us a chance to extend our league, or they win and we have to win because it's a pressure game. We then don't perform. Like I can actually sort of take not winning games if we actually played really well and we deserved to win and we just didn't win. We
yeah.
properly didn't deserve to win and we nearly deserved to lose the game. And we still could have won because we ended up having great chances, but I don't think we deserved to today. So that's the frustration.
I mean, you say that, but after we'll get onto the Madueke goal, but obviously the first goal came in the 61st minute. That was probably our only good 20 minutes from the 45th or halftime to 70th minute, just before their goal. Hincapié whipped the ball in, deep cross, Madueke, Marino-esque sort of header, just floated into the corner. When we got that goal, I was like, all right, class. Now we just got to finish this game or just hold on. And then obviously it kind of went down from there. But what I want to say is, you say we could have won that game, but I actually disagree. We didn't have. I remember the commentator saying, since that Madueke shot the goal, we didn't have a single attempt on target for the rest of the game. So did we really
Well,
deserve to win?
nah, we did. We had the Martinelli chance right at the
Oh,
end.
right at the end. But I think they said it in the 91st minute. But I
Yeah.
mean, still, the half an hour when you're trying to win the game a 1-1, it's ridiculous that we don't even have a single chance, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean the Madueke goal was our first shot on target,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah,
So that should tell you everything. There is a creativity issue uh, in our squad, whether it is through personnel or whether it's through the way that they are being asked to play. Like it's it's definitely something that we should probably delve in deeper at some point because it's a consistent issue over the season. Um, yeah, it's really really hard to sort of pick apart as to why that is the case. And you look at other teams around us, and it just seems that we have to work so much harder to score a goal than other teams if it's not from a set piece. If it's from a set piece, then usually yeah, that's how we break a deadlock. But why is it that like other teams seem to create such good chances and we don't seem to do that? I don't know. It's
yeah.
very frustrating.
Makes me think as well, was sending Wanyeri out on loan the best idea? I know for long term it probably is because he's going to get a lot more minutes, but he could have been another solution to this game, like more creativity. He's in that position. I know it's so hard to get in this team with Eze and Odegaard, even Havertz ahead of him, but it's easy to say in hindsight, but I feel like maybe a Wanyeri could have changed the game. And I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but I feel like he could have done something, right?
Well, I'm pretty sure I'm under the impression that what's his name, De Zerbi has been also been sacked or he's left
Yes,
Marseille.
yes, he has. Yeah,
So, so like you'd think that he would have gone to Marseille on the assumption that he was going to be working on De Zerbi. He was a very well-renowned top-level coach, and I'm pretty sure that's something that Arteta came out and said whilst talking about the loan and players often move to teams based on the coach. So.
yeah,
I guess there is definitely some conversations to be had about that Wanyeri loan. But to me, it goes beyond that, to be honest. And it's something that I've spoken to you off court about before we were recording, even earlier in the day. And it's just like we've been talking about this for years and having that player with star quality who is able to create something from nothing. Not only that, but is able to just win games for Arsenal. Like who is that player for Arsenal? Like a few seasons ago, it was Saka. I will say that Saka was pretty consistent in doing that often. But since his injury, he hasn't really been the same player, if we're being totally honest with ourselves. And listen, it's fair enough, man. Like he's had a seriously like severe injury. So he sort of gets a pass from me. We bring in obviously Eze for 70 odd million, and he doesn't really get the game time that he deserves. And in that time, Man City, who again we have been competing with for the last 3 years, so I don't like hearing the argument of yeah, but they've got so much money, we can't compete with them when it comes to money. But we are actually competing with them every year, so we have to compare ourselves to them. Whether it's us spending money on other players that we don't need, like say a Hincapié. Do we really need him as opposed
Yeah.
to maybe keeping Kivior or even if we were going to send Kivior out on loan or get rid of him, like did we have enough with Miles Lewis-Skelly not really getting game time, but still being in the squad? I know Calafiori's injured on and off, but I think we had more than enough in that left back position that we didn't need to bring in Hincapié. But
Zinchenko as well at the time we had him. Yeah.
100%. But going back to Man City, right? They have the most prolific goal scorer almost in Premier League history. I would say probably in Premier League history in Erling Haaland, who literally scores 50 goals a season and in a bad season scores 30 Premier League goals and wins them titles almost. Between the time that we've been talking about us getting that star player who can just decide games on his own, they've gone in January and spent 60 odd million on getting another one. So now they've got two because Semenyo's played I think he's got 8 goal involvements in his last 7 Premier League
Yeah.
games. But it was so obvious that it was going to happen because of the data. He was doing it at Bournemouth. He was scoring every single week, left foot, right foot. It doesn't matter. He needs one shot. He'll score 1 goal. So obviously, to me, when a team who are already really, really good, who have a lot of resources, in January, they've realized, okay, we're 6 points behind the leaders. We're not really having a great season. What can we do to maximize our chances of winning the Premier League? They go and get the most informed Premier League player. And not only that, they get one of the best defenders in the Premier League as well, who's a captain of his club. So, and a captain of a club who just won a trophy, by the way, in Mark Gahey. So obviously they're going to be more competitive. Whereas like I feel like in the middle of the season, we identified that we were obviously in a good position, 6 points clear in the Premier League, top of our Champions League group, almost in a final of the Carabao Cup, which we are now in. Which is great, and still in the FA Cup. But instead of actually trying to maximize a window where we can really push over the line and get there finally, we got rid of one of our attacking midfielders. Like it just doesn't like that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
I know maybe we didn't have the resources, like maybe we had to sell players, but to me that's bad planning. Like one of Trossard, if you're going to bring in an Eze and you're going to see him more as a left winger, which they clearly don't now, but at the time that's what the thought was, then surely one of Trossard and Martinelli should have been out of the door so that you'd have space to bring in a Semenyo, for example, if he was
Yeah.
available. And I know for a fact because of people that I've spoken to who know that he wanted to come to Arsenal. Like no
He's
doubts
an
about
Arsenal
it.
fan, I'm pretty sure as well. That's
He's
what
an
I've heard, yeah.
Arsenal fan. He's an Arsenal fan. He made it very clear that he wanted to come to us, but we couldn't put the money up front, whereas Man City could. We wanted to pay it over a few years of installments, and that's the difference. At the top level, like the 1%ers really make the difference, and that could easily win the Premier League.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't know what it is about Arteta and January in the last few years, but he just seems to just not like the January transfer window at all, doesn't he? I remember we cast our minds back a few seasons ago on what was it, 22, 23 or whatever, the season where we really needed a striker, and it was all that talk in January when we're going to get a striker, and they decided to give Nketiah number 14. Remember that whole saga, and then obviously it didn't work out at the end, but why did we not just buy a striker then? Why didn't we buy an extra attacking player? A player that I would love to see come to the Emirates is do you know Yildiz for Juventus? There's been a few links there. I don't know if that was I don't know if that was a possibility in January or not, but he would have been a great player to come to us, I think.
Nah, he's just signed a new contract for Juventus.
Yeah,
so
yeah, but early in the window though, that's the
Right.
thing. We miss out, right? That's the thing. So yeah, it definitely is super, super disappointing, to be honest. Yeah.
To me, the player that they really should go and get in the summer is Julian Alvarez. Like he's already Premier League proven. He's won himself a Premier League or two here and there. He's proven in Europe now. He's just a world-class striker. To me, like that's where you should really invest like hard. Like 8, maybe 100+ million will probably get him. But he's that good. You just got to go do it.
Was he at City when Arteta was there?
I want to say no. I don't think he was.
Yeah.
I don't think you. No, no, of course not, because
Yeah,
Arteta would have been at City more than like 7 years ago. No,
it's been a
six,
long
7 years
time,
ago.
long time,
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
it?
been a long
Jeez,
time.
yeah. Wow, 2026. But yeah. Anyway, back on with the game. So we go and concede the goal from the long throw. Brentford's specialty, I guess. You got to rate it. I mean, everyone thinks that we're good at long throws, even though we've never actually never scored one. We don't have any players that can take them. But yeah, credit to them. It's a good weapon. I always rate a long throw. I like them a lot. So yeah, the throw came in. They kind of headed it, and then Odegaard missed the ball, and then Lewis. Oh, sorry, what was his name? Lewis Potter poked it in the back post, sort of. Nothing we could really do about it. I think Odegaard should have done a little bit better, to be honest. But
Yeah.
it's just chaos in the box. Like credit to them. That's the strategy they went for, and it works. So we always talk about set pieces. It works for us, so why not do it? And yeah, from there they definitely looked like they won the game, and I think we got away with one, to be honest, on not losing that game. But I'll let you speak on the one at the end. We should have won it right at the end, though.
Well, yeah, but that, again, it's another. Well, firstly, we had an amazing chance when Declan Rice, well, Odegaard sort of
Yeah,
played in Declan Rice, and to me, Declan Rice needed to take responsibility in that moment. Like, what a story it would have been if we come away. I think that might have been at 1-0. That might have been before Brentford equalised.
mm.
Like Odegaard sort of I think he won the ball back, drove forward, and then played in Declan Rice. And instead of Declan Rice taking responsibility, like, listen, Declan Rice has had an amazing season. Like, if we go on to win the Premier League or the Champions League, he'll probably go on to win like the PFA like Players Player of the season because he's had that good of a season, and he has taken responsibility, especially in defensive actions. He's everywhere. But to me, like when people are talking about our captain, like really taking responsibility when he got the ball from Odegaard, he had to take responsibility and just put the ball in the back of the net. And instead, he tried to lay it off to G'Day Eze, who I think it was Coyote, made a really, really good interception. Um, that was the first chance, and I'm pretty sure that was at 1-0. And then in the last second, it was Yuri and Timber that went through. A nice flick on from Gyökeres, I think. But again, another frustration about the way that we play is that it's always our fullbacks who end up in those
Yeah.
positions. Like
Why
it
was
should
Timber
be.
there?
I don't know. I have no idea. But he sort of slowed himself down, made the pass into Martinelli, and Martinelli should have really hit the ball first time with his left foot
Yeah,
and just
yeah.
hit the ball straight into the
Or even
corner.
just like a finesse with the right foot. We've seen him do that finish before. It's a bit of a trademark finish for him, just kind of curling it into the bottom right. So I was really disappointed when I saw him take the touch because Kelleher's a great keeper as well. So I mean,
It was
when
a
that
great save,
happened,
actually.
yeah, it was all credit to him. Great save. But yeah, it was super, super disappointed with that, to be honest. I thought we are really just going to snatch it right at the end. And, that would have been a bit of a statement as well. 3 wins in a row, kind of stick it to City a bit. But we end up dropping points, and now we're only 4 points clear. But I think I was talking to you about this. I think an underrated thing, and it would have been even better, obviously, if we got the win today. But we do play Wolves before City play their extra game. I think because the whole rescheduled thing with the Carabao Cup final. Man City are supposed to be playing Palace, but Palace have a European game or something, so that means they won't play for a while. So if we can beat Wolves, which we should hopefully, we'll have that extra 3 point buffer and a game buffer, a game out of the way for the rest of the season, almost the rest of the season, I think. So that would be really good for us, I think, if we can get it done. But I mean, who knows at this point?
Yeah, at the end of the day, they've got to go and bounce back, and they have to go and get the 3 points at Wolves, which they should do. They should do. I mean, you got to think as well. Igor Thiago had sort of another chance, took the ball off Mascara, and Mascara came back in
Yeah,
and made a really good block.
yeah,
I actually thought they looked really, really dangerous. I thought Utara had a really good game. I thought Rico Henry was unbelievable at left back. He really, really kept Madueke quiet before his goal. Um, yeah, I thought just Brentford were a really good team, and
yeah,
I guess in if you're really going to break it down, like a point away at Brentford is a good result. It
yeah,
is. It's just frustrating in the way that it has happened, and we have to bounce back at Wolves, and then obviously the big North London derby on the week. Oh, sorry, the week after. So uh, yeah, a lot of points still to play for even, and we've got to go and get them. It's really simple. We just have to go and get those points. Keep on winning. Keep on, I guess, blocking out the noise. I feel like
yeah,
the noise
yeah,
around us is changing every single minute. Like one day the mainstream media telling us that the Premier League's finished, the next they're saying that we're going to bottle it, the next, it's just like it's so
Yeah,
toxic. It's so toxic. We're 4 points clear at the top of the Premier League. We're top in the Champions League. We're still in the both other competitions, one of them of which we're in still in the final. So, in context of the whole season, if you'd asked me at the start of the season, you could be at this point and have the situation that we have.
take it.
But yeah, I'll take it all day. I'll take it all day. I just think that like momentum is such an important factor in football. It seems like
Yeah.
Manchester City are starting to gain momentum, which I don't like. So we need to, I guess, just get 3 more points on the board before their next game and try and take some of that momentum back.
Yeah, sounds good. I mean, I hope that it can happen. I think you're completely right. Just got to block out the noise and just focus on what we're doing. We can't control what City do besides our game against them. I think it's in April. That'll be a massive game. I hope it doesn't come down to that, because obviously that's a super, super tough place to go, especially for us. But yeah, we just got to get more points on the board, bounce back. But yes, we obviously move on to our second round of the FA Cup. Second round. Against Wigan Athletic. We're at home. We're at home, right? Yeah, pretty sure.
Yes.
And yeah, obviously expecting a win. I've done a bit of research on Wigan. I don't know if you know too much about Wigan Athletic, but
Of
they
the
currently,
past, yeah, they used to be in the Premier League, so
yeah,
that's
yeah,
how
yeah.
I remember it. I've been to Wigan away. I've done
Okay.
Wigan away. We drew 1-1 at Wigan away. Must have been 2010 or 11. I think
Wow.
Squillaci scored an own goal from a header, and it was a totally depressing, cold, wet afternoon in Wigan, and then
I
a
really
long journey
hope
home.
I really hope we don't get a game like that against them. Obviously, they've dropped down a lot since then. I'm not too familiar with what's happened with their club. To be honest, maybe you can shed some light on that. But they're sat 22nd in League One at the moment. So it's not great, is it? Was it financial issues? I'm really not sure on that. But anyway, we can only play what's in front of us. 22nd League One at the moment, third division English football. Their last 5 games, they're not great at all. They lost 2-1 to Reading, 6-1 to Peterborough, 1-0 to Lincoln City, 2-0. They lost 2-0 as well. I don't have the thing. And then they drew against Doncaster. So only 1 point out of their last 5. Their last win, obviously, coming in the FA Cup. That's how they're in this stage. So, yeah, expecting a win, expecting a rotated lineup as well. I think that was another problem in the Brentford game. A lot of our players just looked leggy, tired, just not up for it. So I'm expecting a lot of changes. What would be your lineup going into that game?
I'd stick Kepa in goal for starters. I'd go with Ben White at right back, Mosquera and Hincapié at centre back, and I'd go Miles Lewis-Skelly at left back. Norgard at the base of midfield alongside Eze and Odegaard.
Yep.
And then my front three will be Martinelli, Gabby Jesus, and Madueke. I'd rest Saka.
Is
What about you?
Dowman back? I think I'd probably go with the same lineup. Is Dowman, any updates on Dowman? Is he going to be
Yeah,
back?
yeah. Arteta said that he should be back in full training next week.
Okay, so maybe too early for this game. I would love to see him in this game, but probably not. But yeah, I'd probably go with the same lineup as you, to be honest. I think all respect to Wigan, but I think that team is good enough to beat Wigan. Yeah, so I'm expecting that. Score predictions. I'm gonna go. I think we'll bounce back. What do you think?
3-0.
Oh, I should have said it first, man. I was gonna say 3. I'll go 4-0.
Okay, I
Might be
like it.
cocky, but yeah, I'll go for a 4-0. Expecting good things, hopefully. But I think we're gonna get past this game. But don't sleep on it as well, because you know what the FA Cup's like, can always be an upset. But we do need to turn our focus to the Premier League as well. But get through this game and then obviously focus on the Premier League, get some points on the board. But yeah, I think that's all we got time for today. Thanks, George, for doing all the editing stuff while I was gone. Great job. He's still learning, guys, so don't be too harsh on him. But yeah, it's so good to be back. I've missed it so much, and yeah, so keen to just start watching the games properly again. So yeah, at reasonable times when I'm not super tired. So I mean, saying that the next game's at 3:30 on a Monday morning. So what a game to come back to, eh? But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Like, subscribe, follow us. We'll get back to doing all the content as well. It should be good. Yeah, very excited. George,
Don't forget to have a good day, Gooners.
have a good day, Gooners, and we'll bounce back as well. Come on.